Yeah, good afternoon for everyone. In the today's class, you are learning about the major view of the serializability. The next coming for the recoverability of the schedule, how you want to recover, then what are the failures will be there under the transaction, then how you want to recover at the time of the we are getting as a transaction failure. These four topics we are learning in the today's class. In the last class, we learned about the complexity, conflict of the serializability schedules. In the last class you learned. Just again we are going for the recall about for the conflict serializability. Actually in the conflict we are having as a two types will be there, non-conflict and the conflict will be there. When you are calling as a conflict and when you are calling as a non-conflict, means for the non-conflict if you are getting as a schedule, both the schedules are equal. Even though when you are swapping also we are getting, then we are calling as a non-conflict. Conflict means when both the schedules S1 is not equals to S2, then we are calling as a conflict. Now if you know the difference between the conflict and the non-conflict, then we can understand easily about the view serializability in the today's class. In the last class you learned these two scenarios for the conflict and non-conflict. In the today's class again we are under the view serializability also we are having conflict and non-conflict. If you know about the conflict and non-conflict, the view serializability easily we can understand. Now just now I said in the today's class we are focusing about the majorly four topics: view serializability, recoverability of the schedule, how you want to recover, then what are the failures will be there, then the last we are going for the log based recovery. With the help of the log based means under the log when you are storing the content, how you are getting as a recovery even though if you are getting as a system failure. Now coming to the view serializability, under the view serializability, a schedule will be the view serializability if it is the view equivalence to the serial schedule. Means what is the equivalent schedule means, what is the view equivalent schedules means, if you are having the if you are having the two schedules S1 and S2 or the two schedules will be there. Under that if you want to see the equivalence, the view equivalence if satisfy the following conditions. What are the conditions will be there means, initial write will be there, then we are having the condition, based on that conditions we are going for the view. We are having as a initial read will be there, then we are having as a final read, update read will be there, final write will be there. With the help of these conditions we are finding the view equivalence. Under the view equivalence, if you are having the two schedules, under the two schedules under the S1 and S2, if satisfies the condition, it is satisfying the condition of the initial read, is satisfying the condition of the final read, it is satisfying the condition of the update read. Initial read, update read, final write. If satisfying these conditions, then we can call as a view equivalence. If you want to see about the view serializability, under the view serializability, view serial means just now I said as a serialize means sequence one after the another the transaction. Under the serializable we are having as a non-serial, serial will be there. Under the non-serial if you are having the sequence one after the another, then we are calling as a serial schedule with the help of the view equivalence. Under the view equivalence it satisfies the three condition. When it is satisfying the three condition of the initial read, it is satisfying the condition of the initial read, update read and the final write, then only we are calling as a serial schedule. If the schedule is conflict serializable, just now I said conflict, S1 is not equals to S2. If you are having as a if you are having the two schedules S1 and S2, under the S1 if you are having as a under the transaction, under the S1 schedule if you are having the n number of transaction, under the transaction if you are having the operations. Under the S2 also, under the S2 schedule if you are having the n number of transaction, under the transaction it can consist, each and every transaction can consist as a operations. Even though if when you are swapping S1 and S2 both the when S1 and S2 schedules when we are swapping also, then we are calling as a conflict serializable. Means S1 is not equals to S2. Even though if you are swapping the transaction under the operations, a condition will not equal, then only we can call as a conflict serializable. If the schedule is a conflict serializable, then it will be the view serializable. Then we can call as a view serializable. Under the view serializable does not conflict serializable. Just now it's a conflict and non-conflict. Non-conflict means S1 is equals to S2. If we are swapping the schedules, both the schedules, if we are having the same operations, then we can call as a non-conflict. Non-conflict or not a conflict serializable. Does not conflict serializable contain the blind writes. Under the view serializable, it does not conflict serializable, it contains a blind write will be there, blind write operator will be there. Under the view equivalence, it's satisfying the three conditions. What are the three conditions? Means initial read, update read, then final write. If satisfying these conditions, we can call as a view serializability. Under the view serializability, if you are having the two schedules S1 and S2 are to be equivalent, if satisfying these conditions, then we can call as a view equivalence. Under the view equivalence, under the first condition, we are going for the initial read, it means starting stage, initial read. Under the initial read, if both the schedules S1 and S2 must be same, means under the initial, if you want to satisfy the condition of the view equivalence, under the initial state, both the schedules should be the same, means S1 and S2 should be the same. Suppose two schedules S1 and S2, in the schedule S1, if the transaction is T1 is reading the data item A, then S2 is a transaction, T1 should also read the data A. Means and S1 and S2 two are the schedules will be there. Now your understanding purpose, we are taking the one simple diagram. S1 schedule, under the S1 schedule T1 and T2 transaction will be there. Under S2 schedules we are having T1 and T2 will be there. Means when it is reading from the both the schedules S1 and S2, when it is reading the both the schedules from S1 and S2, it should be the same operation will be there. Under the T1 read operator will be there under the schedule 1, under the S2 schedule T1 it is a read operation will be there. Means if you are having, we can consider as an initial stage. Under the initial stage S1 and S2, under the S1 and S2, both the schedules must be same will be there, then we can consider as an initial state under the view equivalence. Now as per the diagram, now view equivalence become, it is an initial read operation. S1 is done by the T1 and S2 is also done by T1. Now see here, under the transaction, under the both the schedules T1 transaction S1 and S2 will be there. Under the T1 transaction of the S1 schedule, under the S2 schedule of the T1, both it is a equivalence will be there, the view equivalence will be there. Two schedules are the view equivalence because the initial read operation, this is a read operation under T1, it is the initial stage. S1 is done by the T1, under the T1 also, under the S2, T1 also is done by S2 schedule. This is under the initial stage of the view. Now when we are going for the update read operation, under the update read operation, under this satisfying the condition of the view equivalence, if you are having the schedule S1, under the S1 I am considering as a Ti. Ti is a transaction up to n number of transaction, it is reading A, it is reading the A, then which is updated by the Tj, means it is updating for the next coming transaction. Then S2 is also same, if the Ti should be read A which updated by the Tj. Means when it is updating the read operation, coming to the initial stage, under the initial stage, when it is under the S1 and S2, under the initial read, under the schedule S1 and S2, both the transaction, T1 transaction for the S1, under the T1 transaction under the S2 schedule, it is parallel, it is reading under the initial stage. Coming to the update read operation, under the view equivalence, if the Ti is reading the A condition, it is reading the A condition which is updated by Tj. It is under the S1. Coming to the S2 schedule, if the Ti should be read by A, it is updated by Tj. Means when it is updating under the T1 transaction, under the T1 transaction under the schedule 1, it should be updated to the next coming transaction of the T2. Coming to the schedule 2 also, when it is updating under the T1, it should be updated to the T1. Means when it is reading the operation under the T1 transaction, then it should be updated to the next coming transaction. This is under the equivalence. As per the diagram, if you are seeing as per the diagrams, if you are having the schedule, two schedules will be there, S1 and S2 are not a view equivalence, because under the S1 T3 is reading updated by the T2. Means T3 is reading the A, and it is updating to the T2. Means it is not updating next coming. It is in the S2 also T3 is reading, then is updated by the T1. Means reverse will be there. When it is, this is the purpose we are calling as a non-equivalence, not a view equal, because under the S1 T3 is reading, T3 is reading when it is updated by the T2. Under the S2 T3 is reading when it is updated by the T1. Means it is not a similar, both are the different will be there. Coming to the final write under the view equivalence, the write operation must be the same between both the schedules. The write operation should be the same both the schedules. Under the schedule S1, if the transaction T1 is updated by the A loss, then under the S2 the final write operation should also done by the T1 transaction. Means under the final write under the equivalence, if the write operation should be the same under both the schedules S1 and S2. Under the schedule S1, if the transaction is updated, under the schedule S1, if the transaction T1 is updated, at the loss, then S2 also the final write operation should also done by the T1. Under the S2 also the final write operation should be done by the T1. Now as per the below diagram, if you are seeing both the schedules, the view is equal because the final write operation in S1 is done by the T3 and S2 is the final operation is done by the T3. Means both the schedules, the final write operation under the S1 is done by the T3, under T1 also write will be there, under T3 also write will be there. Coming to the S2 schedule also, the write and the write will be there, both the T1 and T3. Then we are calling as a view equivalence. Coming to under the update read operation, both the operations are different will be there, write and read will be there, That is the purpose. It is not a view equal will be there under the view equivalence. Coming to the initial read, both the read and write will be there, T1 and T2. Coming to the T1 and T2, both will be there, read and write will be there. Now coming to here under the not a view equivalence schedule, when you are comparing the S1 and S2, the transaction is not occurring the similar operations among the T1 and T3. The similar operation is not existing under the update read. Coming to the under the final write, the write operation is existing the both at the starting and the ending. That is the purpose that now the view is equal. Now your understanding purpose, I am taking the one simple example. This is the transaction T1, T2, T3. Under the T1 we are having the read operation, write operation will be there. Under the T2 also we are having the write, then the T3 we are having as a write. Now coming to under the T1 transaction, now under the initial state it is reading. After reading, then it is going to the T2. After performing the action under T2 transaction, again it is coming back to the T1. Means is the first stage. Under the T1 transaction is existing. Coming to the second stage, under the T2 transaction, it is existing as a write operation. Under the third stage, again it is going to executing the T1 transaction. This is the third stage. Now coming to under task stage, it is executing under the T1, then it will not there under the operation, then it is going to the fourth stage. Under the fourth stage, T1, T2 is not there, the operation is going to the T3 operation. Now if we are seeing the schedule S, now I am considering as a schedule S. Under the schedule S, we are considering as a schedule S. Under the schedule S, we are having the 3 transactions. Under the 3 transaction, now we are performing the total number of possible schedules. How many schedules it is performing? Now 3 is not equal to 6, means 3 is not equal to 6, means as for the 3 transactions you should be the equal to 6. It is not a condition, means if you are taking as a S1 schedule, now if you are taking, now I am considering as a schedule S1. Under the schedule S1, it is executing the transaction first under the T1. After executing T1 transaction, then it is going to the T2. After executing the T2, then it is going to the T3. As for your schedule S, the possibility is a 1 under the S1. Now we are considering as a 1 S1 schedule. Under the S1 schedule, the possibilities of the transaction execution, three single under the one with the help of the single schedule, we are executing 3 transactions from initial state to the final write stage. Now if you are going for the T1, with the help of the T1 we can execute T1 to 3, T3 to 2. Now it's here. Under the S2 schedule, now we are considering with the help of the T1 transaction. After executing the T1 to T2, T2 to T3. Now T1 to T2, T2 to T3 transaction we are executing. Coming to the second schedule, we are executing the T1. After executing the T1, another possibility of the transaction, after executing the T1, then it should be the possibility for the T3. After executing the T3, again you should be execute T2. Same here the possibility we are mentioned here under the S2 schedule, T1 to T3, from T3 transaction to T2 transaction. Now coming for when you are going for the schedule 3, under the schedule 3, as per the diagram for the schedule 3, now we are considering as a T2 transaction. Now when the transaction is executing under the T2, it will execute all operation based on the statements. After executing, then it is going to the T3, from T3 transaction to T1 transaction. Now T2, from T2 transaction to T3 transaction, from T3 transaction to T1 transaction. Now when you are considering as a schedule 4, when you are considering from the schedule 4, now we are going for the reverse. T1 one more possibility will be the T2 transaction to T1 transaction, from T1 transaction to T3. See here. Means under the schedule and schedule 3 and the schedule 4, first we are considering as a T2 transaction. First we are considering as a T2 transaction. From T2 transaction to T3 transaction to T1. Now coming to the schedule 4, and we are performing the first, it is executing under T1 transaction. After executing the T1 transaction, again it is going to the T1, it is not going to, already is there under schedule 3. Now if you are taking as the schedule 5, under the schedule 5 and the schedule 6 also, now when you are comparing T3, what is will be there from T3, what is the possibilities will be there? 2 possibilities will be there. From T3 transaction to, we can forward to T2 transaction, from T2 transaction to T1, or T3 transaction to T1 transaction, from T1 transaction to T2 transaction. Means these possibilities will be there when you are scheduling the transaction as per your view equivalence. Now if you want to take the schedule 1, when you are taking the schedule 1 T1 transaction, under the schedule, when you are taking as a first schedule, under the first schedule, T1 transaction to T2 transaction, from T2 transaction to T3 transaction. Now when we are considering from the T1 transaction, under the T1 transaction, it is performing the 2 operations. It is reading at a time the read and write operation. Means after executing the read operation or the read statement, then it is going to the write statement. Means 2 operations is executing under the T1. Coming to the T2, it is executing only the one write operation. Coming to the final, T3 transaction is executing the write operations here. When you are considering as, now I am considering as a 4 statements or 4 operations, it is performing the entire operations under the T1. After executing the all transactions under the T1, then it is going to the second transaction under the T2 under the schedule S1. After executing the T2, then it is going to T3. As per your schedule, schedule for the S1, T1 to T2, T2 3, T3. It is a scenario will be there for the view equivalence. Now, if you are taking as a schedule S1, the step 1 will be there. Final updation on the data item should be there. Under the step 1, the final updation will be there under the transaction. If the both the schedule S1 and S1 and S and S1, there is no read except the final read. That's why we do not need to check at the condition. Means if you are considering under the final updation under the data transaction items, both the schedules and S1 and S2 is no read except the initial read. Means it is not performing the read operation at the time of the initial read, operations. That's why we do not need to check the condition. When you are coming to the initial read operation, the initial read operation is S is done by the T1 transaction and S1 also. Means T1 transaction is performing under the schedule S and S1 schedule also it is performing the T1 transaction. Then only it is done by the T1 transaction under the initial stage. Means under the initial stage, under the schedule S and the schedule S1, T1 transaction is done at the parallelly. Coming to the final write, under the final write operation is the schedule S is done by the T3 transaction and the S1 under the T3 transaction is done by the T3 and S1 also. When it is performing the third operation under the transaction 3, it should be executed both under the schedule S and the schedule S1 also. It is done by the transaction C. So S1 and S2 are the view equivalents. Now when we are considering that, we are calling as under the final write operation, under the final stage, compulsory the write operation should be there. The write operation should be existing under the transaction tree, schedule S and the schedule S1. Then only we are considering as a view equivalence. The write schedule S1 satisfies all the 3 conditions. Means when you are comparing first schedule, S1 is satisfying all the 3 conditions. So we do not need to check another schedule. When it is following these 3 conditions, then the next coming schedule is not possible. Under the S1 schedule, T1 is pointing to the T2, T2 is pointing to the T3. One more option will be there under the S1 schedule, T1 is pointing to the T3, T3 is pointing to the T1. Means under the first condition, it is satisfying the 3 operations of the 3 conditions, final updation, initial read and the final write. It is performing these 3 conditions, then we can call as a view equivalence. Then the view equivalence is a serial schedule will be there, sequence will be there. Hence we can consider as a view equivalence a serial schedule will be there. Now this under the S1 serial schedule for the view equivalence, T1 is pointing to the T2, T2 is pointing to T3. Now when you are comparing from the T1 it is pointing to T3 means it is not a serial, it is a non-serial. Coming to when you are going for the schedule 3, then we can consider as a serial schedule will be there. T2 is pointing to T3, T3 is pointing to T1. Coming to the similar, the schedule SY also is the serial will be there. T3 is pointing to T1, T1 is pointing to T3. Means it is following the conditions of the view equivalence. The next schedule is not required. Just now you saw here. Means it satisfies all the 3 conditions. The first schedule, S1 schedule is satisfying all the 3 conditions. So we do not need to check the another schedule. Means we cannot go for S2 schedule. Then we can call as a view equivalence of the serial schedule will be there. The next we are going for the recoverability. How you want to recover the data. at the time of the schedules under the transaction if you are getting as a failure. Under the schedule, just now you saw S1 and S2, two schedules will be there. Under the schedule, it can consist n number of transactions will be there. If you're when you're getting as a failure at the time of the executing the transaction, how you want to recover that schedule. That is the purpose we are going for, recoverability of the schedule. Sometimes the transaction may not execute completely due to the software issue, maybe the system crash or the hardware failure. Means if sometimes the transaction is not executing the properly. Why it is not executing properly means due to the some of the failures will be there, the software issue, maybe the system crash or the hardware failure. In that cases, failed transaction has to be the rollback. If you are getting at the time of your executing the transaction, if you are getting as a failure with the help of the software issues or the system crash or the hardware failure, at the time we should make as a transaction with the help of the rollback, means we should get the previous data. But some other transaction may also have used the value produced by the failed transaction. So we have to the roll back those transactions also. As per the table, T1 is a transaction. T1 is a transaction. Under the T1 transaction, read operation will be there. Under T1 transaction, read operation will be there, write operation will be there. This for the T1 we are having as a buffer space will be there, buffer memory will be there. Coming to the T2 also, it is performing the operations. For the T2 also we are having as a buffer space or the buffer memory will be there. Then we are having, your understanding purpose, we are taking as a database. Under the database how it is performing. Now when you are transferring the transactions from one account to the another account. Now your understanding purpose I am taking the simple example. A is a person, the A person he was transferring the account to the T2 transaction. Now under the A account it is reading the value, 6500 will be there. From the A account he was transferring the amount to the T2 account, means he was transferring the 500 rupees. From the 6500 rupees he was transferring only the 500 rupees. Then at the time of the transferring, then it should be the deduct from the account from the T1 transaction. After deducting, then it will write, means how much balance will be there. Then after that, then you should go to the T2 transaction. Under the T2 transaction, see here under T1 read means previous balance is 6500 will be there. Now when he was transferring to the T2 transaction from T1 to T2, then it is deducting the amount 500 rupees. Now the balance is 6000 will be there. Now when it is performing the operation, then we can get the final value. When the amount is deducting from the T1 transaction, the remaining balance should it is available. See here it is performing here. Coming to the T2, under the T2, now what is the previous balance will be there? The previous balance is 6000 will be there. 6000 will be there. Now 6000 plus 1000 rupees. Now 7000 will be there. Now actually here for your understanding purpose I took the 500, here I took as 1000 rupees. Here the both operations is different. If you are taking the similar value in place of 1000 rupees, you can take the 500 your wish. Means 6500 means just your simple calculation purpose I take the figure. Now we are having the write operation, means it is performing the operation, then we are getting as a commit, means permanently it is storing the value. Now when it is performing the transaction in the T1 and T2 under the database here, means initial value is 6000, then after deducting also 6500 will be there, it is not deducted. Coming to the right also same value will be there. Now the total we are having as 6500. Means before reading balance is 6500, then at the time it is reading 6500, when it is deducting the amount from 6000 we are getting as 6500 only. Now when it is writing we are getting 6000, here we are getting as a 6000. Means when it is performing the operations it is change the value here under the database also. Now coming to the T2, what is the read will be there, 6000 will be there. Then when it is performing the operation it is not changing the value. When it is changing the value, when it is reading from the database, When it is writing the, if you want to display with the help of the write operation, then the value is changing. After valuing the changing, then we are making as a commit. Then under the T1 transaction, we are taking as a failure points commit also. What are the failures will be there? As per the above table, if you are taking the table 1, it shows the schedules with the help of the two transaction. T1 is read and write the value A, and the value is read and write by the T2 transaction. When the T2 is making the commitment with the help of the latter, T1 fails. After making the T1 commitment, T1 transaction may occur the failure. Due to the failure, we have to roll back the T1 transaction. T2 should also the rollback, because if the read the value the write by the T1 and T2 cannot be the rollback because it already is commitment. Means after making the T2, we cannot make the rollback because already we make the commitments. Permanently we are saving the data. For T1 transaction, after executing T2, then when you are going for the rollback, we can get as a irrecoverable schedule we are getting. This type of the schedule we are calling as a irrecoverable. Means we cannot recover the data. Means under the T1 transaction, after executing the entire operation, we are not making as a commit. If you are not making as a commit, then we cannot get the data. Under T2 we can get the data when you are making as a commitment. Means commitment means permanently it will store the data, we cannot change. Without the commitment, we can get the rollback statements. Maybe I will show the SQL commands practically after coming the third class or the fourth class, how it is performed. When you are making the update, under the transaction, after making the update, when you are giving as a commitment, again if you want to go for the rollback, it will get the data or we cannot get the data. If you are not getting the data, means we can call as a irrecoverable schedule. Irrecoverable schedule, the schedule will be the irrecoverable with the transaction J reads the update the value Ti, then Tj commitment before the Ti commitment. See, when we are calling the irrecoverable schedule, means the schedule will be the irrecoverable if Tj transaction read and update. After reading and updating the value of the Ti and the Tj commitment before the Ti commitment. Means before committing the Tj, then before we should commit the Ti transaction, then only we can go for the recoverable schedule. Irrecoverable schedule will be there here under. First what we are doing means, we are doing the first, after doing the T1 transaction commitment, then we should come to the T2 transaction commitment. Now then only we can go for the recoverable schedule. Here irrecoverable schedule will be there. Irrecoverable schedule means under the T2 transaction, first we are making the commitment. After making the commitment under the T2 transaction, again we are going back to T1, then we are making as a commitment. If you want to recover the data, we cannot recover. Both first under the transaction 1 we should make the commitment. After making the commitment, then we should come to the T2 transaction commitment. Then only we can possible for the recoverable schedule. Now one more table, your understanding purpose I am taking for T1 and T2 transaction, both similar example will be there here. See here, I am not making the commitment. The commitment first making and the T1 transaction, after making the transaction T2. See here, then we can call as a recoverable schedule. Means previous diagram, after the failure point, before the failure point we are making the commitment under the T2 transaction. T2 transaction we are making commitment under T1. After executing the T1 we are making as a commitment. See the difference between the previous table and this table, existing table. The above table shows the schedules with two transaction T1 read and write A. That value is read and write by the transaction T2, but later T1 failures. Due to this we have the rollback T1. T2 should also roll back because T has read by the value as written by the T1 transaction, not committed before the T1 transaction committed. So we can roll back the transaction T1 as well as T2. So it is called as a recoverable with the case of cascade rollback. What is a cascade rollback means? Cascade rollback means this cascading rollback under the recoverable. The schedule will be the recoverable with the help of the cascading rollback. if Tj is read by the updated the value of Ti. First, after reading, after updating the first it is reading under the Tj transaction. When it is updating the value under the transaction Ti, when you are making with the commitment with the help of Tj, we delay till the commitment of the Ti. Then only we can call as a recoverable cascading rollback. Now, as per the below the table 3, if you want to see the two transaction T1 and T2, when it is reading the when it is read and the write operation under the commitment of the T1 transaction, the value is read by when the value is reading under the T2 transaction read and write operation, then we can call as a cascade less recoverable schedule will be there. Means this is a cascade recoverable will there, failure point will be not there. After reading and write, we are making as a commitment. After reading and write, we are making as a commitment. Then we can call as a less recoverable schedule will be there. Cascade less recoverable will be there. When you are making as a commitment under T1 transaction, after making the commitment T2, after making the T1, when you are going to T2 commitment, then when you are getting as a failure, then we are going for the cascading recoverable. Means here the less recoverable under with the help of the cascading. When you are performing the transaction the T1 read and write operation, then we are going for the commitment. Then coming to the T2 operation, after reading and writing the operation, then we are going for the final as a commitment. Then we can call as a cascade less recoverable schedule. Now when we are going for the failure, what are the failures will be there under the transactions? Means we are having as a three failures, three categories will be there. Transaction failure will be there, system crash will be there, disk failure will be there. If you are going for the failure classification, to find out the where the problem is occurred, to find out the where the problem is occurred at the time of your executing the transaction, it is categorized as three types for the failure classifications. Transaction failure, system crash, disk failure will be there. Transaction failure will occurs when the failures to execute or when it reaches the point from where it cannot go any further. Means transaction failure means at the time of your executing means it failure, the transaction failure occurs when it is fails to execute. Means the operation is not executing under the transaction, then we can call as a transaction failure. Means at the time of the executing the operations transaction, it is not executing, then we can call as a failure. Means why it is not executing means maybe the syntax error or maybe the logical errors will be there. If you are having the syntax error or logical errors, maybe your understanding purpose for your when you are writing as a simple program, C program or Java program. When you are writing the Java programming, what you are doing first, we are going for the compiling with the help of the Java C compiler. After compiling, then we are running. At the time of the compiling, then we are finding the logical errors. Then we are finding the logical errors and syntactical errors. Means if the errors is not there, means the program will execute. Coming to the transaction also, under the transaction also, under the operations, if you are having as a syntactical errors or logical errors, then the transaction will be the failure will be there. Means it reaches the point from where it cannot go for any further. If the few transactions or process is at, then it is called as a transaction failure. What are the reasons for the transaction failure means with the help of the logical error, just now I said as a logical errors. If the transaction cannot completed due to the some code error or internal error condition, then we can call as a logical. Logical error means under the some source code, under the some source code if you are having the error or maybe the internal error condition, then we are calling as a logical error under the transaction failure. Coming to the syntax error, syntax errors means where the DBMS itself is terminated when the active transaction because database system is not able to execute it. For example, system abort as an active transaction. In case of the deadlocks or resource unavailability, then we can call as a syntax error. Means under the DBMS, under Oracle SQL prompt, when you are writing the commands wrongly, then we can call as a syntax errors. Coming to the system crash. System failure can occur due to the power failure. When systems will crash means due to the power failure or other hardware or software failure, then only the system will be the crash. Operating system error we can call as a system crash. Fail stop the assumption. In the system crash, non-volatile storage is assumed not to be corrupted. Means fail stops assumption. If the system is crashing, non-volatile storage means secondary hard disk. Means under your system we are having as a secondary hard disk. No, under that it not be corrupted. Disk failure, hard disk. It occurs when the hard disk drives or storage drives used to fail frequently. It was common problem in the early days for the technology evolution. Disk failure is the common problem for the early days. When you are at the time of the computer technology evolution, we are getting the major problem under the disk failure. Disk failure is occurred due to the formation of the bad sectors, disk head crash, unreachability to the disk, or other failures which destroy the part of the disk storage. Means transaction failures. What are under the transaction failures? 2 marks is very important. Transaction under the what are the classification of the failures under the transaction? System crash, transaction failure, disk failure. These will come under the classification of failures. Now coming to how you want to go for the recovery data. If you are getting as a system is crashed, then how you want to get the data, how you want to recover the data. Then actually if you want to recover the data, first we are storing under the log files. The log is a sequence of the record. Actually log means a sequence of record. Log files means the file it can consist a number of records will be there. The log is a sequence of record. Log of each transaction is maintained in the some stable storage so that if any failures occurs, then it can be recorded from the some other. If any operations is performed on the database, it will be the record in the log. Means actually the records we are storing under the log files. Then actually the transactions is maintained. Actually each and every transaction is maintaining under the some stable storage under the log files. If any failures occurs, then we recover from there. Means actually each and every transaction is performing under the log files. Means under the log files, if the failures is occurring, then easily we can get from the recovery from your log files. If many operations is performed on the database, then it will be the record in the log files. But the process of storing the log file should be the done before. Means before going for the system crash, first we should store under the log files. The process of storing under log should be done before the actual transaction is applied in the database. Let us assume where the transactions to modify. For your understanding purpose, for the simple transaction we are taking, the transaction is initiated, then the write start from log. Means if your understanding purpose, the transaction how you want to modify it for the following the transaction for the recovery. When the transaction is initiated, means we are writing starting the one transaction tn and starting point. Now when the transaction is modified under the starting from city from Noida to Bangalore, another log is write to file this file. Means when you in the initial stage we are storing under the one more log file. Coming to when you are going for the modifying, then we are storing another log file. Means under the starting from the city from Noida to Bangalore. When the transaction is finished, then it writes another log to indicate the end of the transaction. Means initial state one log, then modifying one log, then finishing stage or updating one more will be there. Then finally we needed the commitment will be there. There are the two approaches to modify the database. If you want to modify the database or if you want to update the data under the transactions under database, then dereferent modification techniques is occur. Dereferred database modification. Dereferred modification and immediate database modification. Two types of the updation will be there under database. Dereferred modification technique is occur if the transaction does not modify the database until it has committed. Under the dereferred database modification, The techniques is occurring if the transaction does not modify, means the content when you are not modifying until with the help of the commitment. It is possible under the dereference database modification. In this under the dereference database modification, all the logs are created and stored under the stable storage. Under the dereference database modification, all the log files are created and stored under the stable storage. The database is updated when the transaction is committed. This is under the dereference database modification. Coming to one more approach under the database, if you want to modify, we are having as the immediate database modification. Under the immediate database modification technique occurs if the database modification occurs while the transaction is still active. This technique, the database is modified with immediately after the every operation. Coming to dereference data modification, after executing the transaction only it is going for the commitment. Coming to the immediate database modification, it is not going for the commitment. Under immediate modification database updation, the technique occurs if the database modification occurs while the transaction is still active stage will be there. In this technique, the database is modified immediately after the every operation. Each and every operation under the immediate database modification, it is modifying the content of the database. It follows the actual database of the modification. Now, with the help of the recovery log records, how you want to recover the data from the transactions means, when the system is crashed, then the system is consult the log files to identify the transaction need to the undone, which need to be redone. If the log contains the records ti and start, then ti and commits, or ti and commits, then the transaction ti needs to be redone. Means under the log files, if you are having as this ti is started and the ti is commitment, then we need to redone the recovery under the log files. If the log files contains the record tn and theta does not contain the records either ti in commitment, ti in abort, then the transaction ti need to be the undone. Means here ti start to ti commitment, we are going for the redone. Tn to tn means up to, condition is not there, it is up to infinite, from starting to commitment is infinite or abort, then we are going for the undone. Undone means the recovery log files, we are going for the condition for the undone. Thank you. In the next coming class, we are going for the checkpoints and the DBMS deadlocks. This is the 4th unit will be completed. Thank you. In the next class, we will see about the checkpoints and DBMS deadlocks.